Hello, this is Mr. Toops, and we're going to do Unit 1.1, Assignment 3, okay? We're doing Unit 1.1, Assignment 3. Let me pull this up. So Unit 1.1, Assignment 3. Hopefully you have this printed if you're virtual, okay? It's in the module for today, okay? And I'm going to go to this assignment. Okay, remember, we're going to take notes on the right, and then we're going to do 4 of the problems, okay? Pretty simple stuff. Okay, so to do this, remember the 4 steps, okay? The first step was to get rid of parentheses and fractions. Okay, if you're having a hard time reading this online, I give you more power, make it bigger. Okay, there will be no parentheses on this worksheet since we're kind of like in limbo here. I'll show you how to do this later, or with the fractions later. So on this one right here, we're only going to get rid of the fractions, and I will show you how to do this. Hopefully you remember from yesterday, step 2 was to combine the variables, which are the letters in the equations. Step 3 was to combine the constants. And I wish I could write better. And step 4 was to divide the coefficient. Okay, so I'm about to teach you how to get rid of the fraction, and you're going to do the same thing you did yesterday. After you get rid of the fraction, you'll combine all the letters, combine all the numbers, and then divide the coefficient. Now then draw an arrow right here to get rid of the fractions. Distribute the LCM to the entire equation. And this will be a little bit different if there's a parentheses in there. We're not going to have a parentheses today. So in today's lesson, you're going to distribute the LCM, which is the common denominator, okay, so we're going to find the common denominator of the LCM of all the fractions, and we're going to distribute the bluebell chart. Remember, we're going to distribute to the entire equation, and that will Control-Alt-Delete the fractions. Got to get rid of all those fractions, okay? Okay, so the first one we're going to do is number 3. Number 1 and 2 are pretty simple. So let's go to number 3. Let me zoom in a little bit more. Okay, so the first step we want to do is get the common denominator of 3, 5, and 6. Okay, so over here, if you don't know how to do that, hopefully you've kind of clicked on this and figured out what the LCM is. Okay, what's the biggest denominator here? The largest denominator is 6. So we're going to start with a 6. Write down find LCM. If you don't know how to do this, then put right largest denominator. So this is, if you can't figure it out, this is how you do it. Hopefully there's a lot of y'all that know what the common denominator is. Our largest denominator is 6. Does 3 go into 6? Yes. Does 5 go into 6? Nope. I'm going to keep writing the multiples of 6 until I get one that works with all of them. So since the 3 already works, I just need to get the 5 to work. So will 12 work? Nope. Remember, for 5 to divide in it, it's got to end in a 5 or a 0, right? 18 won't work, 24 won't work, 30, ding, 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 30 is the LCM. Now then, if you look at the rules, we've got to distribute the LCM to the entire equation. Okay, so to do that, we're going to do the bluebell chart, and we're going to go to everything in the equation. So on top, we're going to put a 30, a 30, a 30, and a 30. Fun stuff, okay? Now then, this technically is 30 times negative 1 over 3. You're going to multiply that together, okay? So a positive times a negative is a negative. And remember, you're going to get sign, number, letter, okay? 30 times 1/3, there's 2 ways to do it. You can do 30 times 1, get that answer, and then divide by 3. Or 30 divided by 3 is 10, and 10 times 1 is 10 in it. So 1/3 of 30 is 10. You've got to remember how to multiply a fraction and a whole number. Did that in 5th grade, okay? So a fraction times a whole number, you gotta remember how to do that. So that's 10, and my letter is x. Notice, what did I just write down? Sign, number, letter. You can do that over and over. Now we're gonna go to the next one. A positive times a positive is a positive. 30 times 1 is 30, divided by 5 is 6, or 30 divided by 5 is 6, and 6 times 1 is 30. If you divide first, the number gets smaller, doesn't it? So this is going to be 6. I'm going to go to the next step. Notice I'm just multiplying 4 times. A positive times a positive is a positive. 30 times 19 is going to get big in it, but I could do 30 times divided by 6, can't I? 30 divided by 6 is 5, and 5 times 19 is 95. Mr. Toops comes with a calculator built in right here. And then the letter is x. Notice, what did I just write down? Sign, number, letter. You're doing that over and over. Then put your equal. Now then right here, I don't have a fraction to it, so I'm not going to divide. 30 times negative 10 is a negative 300, right? So now then, this is my equation. Notice what has happened to the fractions. The fractions are gone because we distributed the LCM. That's why you distribute the LCM. All of the denominators will divide into the least common multiple. Now then, we're going to draw a bar to the equal sign. And we're going to collect our like terms. We're going to combine the letters first. Notice the letters are on the same side of the equal sign, aren't we? So we don't have to move them across, do we? So we have negative 10 and 95, right? There's more 95s than 10s, so it's going to be positive, and I won't add, I'll subtract one. So negative 10 plus 95 is going to be an 85x. I'm going to drop my plus 6, and that's going to equal to negative 300. Okay, the next step is we're going to move this 6 across, aren't we? So we're going to take this 6 and move it across. Notice we have to take this 6 and move it across, and this answer is going to end up being a fraction. So we're going to get 85x equals negative 306. And the last step to do is to divide the 85. Okay, so x is going to end up equaling negative 306 over 85. That looks funky. Some of these will be weird. Now then, we got to see if this simplifies. 85 is 5 times 17. And I don't think 17 is going to go into 306. 1 and then 136. It does, okay? So 306 is going to be 17 times 18. The 17s are going to cancel out. I'm just simplifying a fraction like you did in 5th grade. Now then, if you have a TI Inspire calculator and you punch 306 divided by 85, it will simplify. Okay, so the 17s will scratch out. So my answer is going to end up being, and I'll put it over here, negative 18 over 5. And you will write your answers as improper fractions. You won't make that 3.6. So you'll leave it negative 18 over 5. On the STAR test, it'll be negative 18 over 5. It won't be 3.6, okay? Any questions? The hardest part of this probably is simplifying this fraction. Okay, that was the hardest part. With the TI Inspire calculators that you have, you just type it in though, and it will reduce it for you, okay? If you were to type in negative 306 divided by 85, boom, you get this. What a blast. Okay, now we're going to go to number 6 or 7. Hold on, there was one that had different ones. Yeah, let's do number 7. Do this one and one more. Okay, so on number 7, this won't be hard here. Notice the denominators are only 2 and 6, and 2 goes into 6, right? So if I were to write my biggest denominator down 6, 2 goes into 6. 6 is the LCM in it. Okay, so I'm going to distribute 6 to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 terms, aren't I? So I'm going to write 6 on top of each term. Those are my stores, right? So the Bluebell truck is going to go to each store, which is called a term in math. Now we're going to go through and multiply and divide, okay? Notice what's going to happen to my 6's here. 6 divided by 6 is 1. 1 times 7 is 7, right? So it's going to be 7p. Okay, right here, 6 divided by 2 is 3, and 3 times 5 is 15. You won't, you can do 6 times 5 and divide it by 2, you'll get the same thing. So this will be a positive 15. A positive times a negative is a negative. The 6's are going to cancel out, they'll divide out to 1, and you'll have 7p. What did I just write down? Sign, number, letter. Make sure you're writing it like that. Then I'm going to put equal. Isn't this fun? Okay, now we're going to take the 2, divide it into 6, and multiply it by 5. So 2 goes into 6, 3. 3 times 5 is 15, plus 6. Remember, you might get fractional answers on this. It's okay. Now then we're going to go back, draw a bar through our equal sign. What happened to our fractions? Shazam! The LCM deleted all those denominators, did it? That's why you're doing that, okay? It's going to make your life simple. Okay, right here, let's combine the letters, and what's going to happen to our letter? 7p minus 7p cancels out, doesn't it? It goes to 0, right? So scratch these out. Then on the left side, I have 15, and on my right side, 15 plus 6 is what? 21. Is this equal? It's not equal, is it? So the answer would be no solution. Okay. Now then, what if it turned out being 15 equals 15? If the letter cancels out and both sides equal, then you write down infinitely many solutions, and it's a lot. Okay? So if the letter deletes out like this, it's either going to be no solution, if they're not equal, just like this. If the left and the right side equal each other, you write down infinitely many solutions. So those are the two things that happens if the letter cancels out. Okay? Fun stuff. Okay, and the last one I'll do with you is number 11, and then we're going to do one more at the bottom. Okay, on number 11. Okay, what's our largest denominator? The largest denominator is 4. 3 doesn't go into 4, does it? So I need to go to the next multiple of 4. 3 doesn't go into 8, but 3 goes into 12, doesn't it? So you write your largest multiple or denominator down and just keep writing the multiples until you get it to work. Now then I'm going to distribute the 12. There's 1, 2, 3 stores, right? So we're going to put 12 on top of the 3 stores, or the 3 terms. Now then we're going to go to multiply, and these denominators will all divide into 12, won't they? So 4 goes into 12 3 times. 3 times 1 is 3. A positive times a negative is a negative. Get that sign first. If you put a positive here, the whole thing's wrong. 3 goes into 12 4 times. 4 times 2 is 8. And my letter is M. What did I just write down? Sign, number, letter. If you could do integers, you could do algebra. Okay, the next one, a positive times a positive is a positive. Get the sign first. 3 goes into 12 4 times, and 4 times 2 is 8. And my letter is M. And what's going to happen on this one again? The letters are going to cancel out, aren't they? On this one right here, I will get 3 equals 0. Is that true? That's false. If it's false, you write down no solution. If it were true, you would write down infinitely many solutions. Okay, so you have 9 problems left like this. Need to get it done. On Canvas, it will tell you when it's due. You're going to turn this in with a quiz, okay? So you'll turn this in with a quiz. Make sure you finish it. You'll have a test over this on Thursday. So you really need to be done with it by Thursday. What a day. Okay. Now then, we're going to do one of these, and let's do a less than. They're kind of tricky. Okay, so let's go to 15. Remember, we did this last week. The first thing you want to do is find your verb. Your verb in math is usually is. So if you circle that, that verb will turn into your minus, or your equal, I'm sorry. Now then, after you get your verb and you identified it with the equal, everything here on the left goes on the left side, everything on the right goes on the right side. Normally, if this is longer, I would tell you to do the easier side. So the easier side is 17 in it. Now then, on the left side, which words means add or subtract? The less than means to minus, but remember, you have to flip a less than, don't you? 8 less than 15 is not 8 minus 15, it's 15 minus 8. I just made that up, okay? So this won't be 15 minus r, it's going to be r minus 15. Now then we need to solve it. So I have my equation. I'm going to move the 15 across. There's only one variable. We don't have to divide it, or do we have to combine the variables? And I would end up with r equal 17 plus 15 is 32. And box your answer. Oh. Any questions? Okay, I hope you have enjoyed doing assignment 3. Okay, get this done by your test. Okay, you're going to do well on it. And remember to always believe. And you are awesome.